Hi everyone, I hope you had a really great weekend. Today we're going to start doing our next worksheet, and that is for Unit 10, okay? Unit 10, remember that we still see the present perfect, okay? And we call it present perfect in indefinite past because we're going to say that something happened in the past, but we're not going to say specifically when, okay? And because we don't say specifically when, so we cannot say yesterday, last week, 2 years ago, because we cannot do that, we are going to use adverbs. Remember that I made a video showing you all the different adverbs that we can use, like ever, like often, like many times, okay? What else do we have? Like lately, like recently, okay? So all those, like just, all those adverbs are going to help me say or give an idea of when the action happened, but I cannot give a specific date. I cannot give a specific date because if I give a specific date, I would have to use simple past. So with the present perfect, we never give a specific date, okay? So this is the homework sheet. I'm just going to explain it really fast. Same instructions as the last one. If you can print it, that's great. Make sure to write your name, solve it, and then you take a picture like this, okay? So that I can see everything. I can see your work, okay? If you cannot print it, then what you're going to do is you're going to, in a sheet of paper, write your name, the title, Unit 10, you're going to write exercise 1. You are not going to write the examples, the instructions, and you are not going to write the examples. So in this case, you would begin with number 2, and so you write decide, decided, and you leave a space, past participle, decided, okay? In exercise number 2, you write the title, exercise 2. You don't copy the instructions. You don't copy the exercise, the example, and then you start with number 2, okay? So this one, it's going to be all affirmative statements using the present perfect, okay? And you're going to use the verbs from this exercise, okay? So you have to match these verbs to the sentences, okay? So here's the example. Julie, several trips this year, and the only one that fits there is the verb make, and here it is, okay? So that one, I cross that off and I can use that over here. Remember that the present perfect always has 2 parts, have or has, and the verb in past participle. So we do that with all of these, matching them to the correct sentence. Okay, let's move on to exercise 3. Exactly the same thing. If you're doing it by hand, you copy the title and then you have to copy the paragraph and leave the spaces. Make sure to write the numbers so that you can solve this, okay? So over here, they are giving you the verb. They're telling you if it's affirmative, if it's negative, all right? And all you have to do is place it in present perfect. That's it. Super easy exercise. Just to practice present perfect one more time. This over here, if you're doing it by hand, you copy the title, you don't copy the instructions, you don't copy this. All you have to do is copy the questions and the answers, okay? So this is about a person that's going on a trip, and it's a travel agent talking to the client, okay? And they are giving you the words that you have to use. It's going to be question and answer, question and answer. So over here, they're telling you to use ever and be, okay? So because they're not giving me a WH, I know that this is a yes, no question. Remember, the yes, no questions are always going to have helper, subject, verb, okay? So my helper always have or has. Because they are talking with each other, the subject is going to be you. He's asking the client, okay? So the helper for you is have. So have you, and I remember from the video that I gave you, that ever always goes here, okay? It goes before the past participle, always. So I say, have you ever been to Egypt? And then for the answer, what you have to do is you have to look at this over here, this box with information. So I did, the person wrote Egypt 2 times, okay? So I'm going to say, the client says, I have been to Egypt. And then remember that when we use many times, 2 times, several times, it goes at the end. So that's why I say, I have been to Egypt twice, okay? Then we do the same thing. Question and answer, question and answer. In your answers, use this information, okay? And try to use, use all of these adverbs that they are giving you, okay? So for example, twice, they already used it here. You have to use the others in the other sentences, okay? In the other answers. We go all the way to the back here, okay? You're going to repeat some of these. And finally, the editing. Mistakes you're going to find in the editing. Placement, okay? So for example, have you been ever? You have to look at the picture that I left in the information in Google Classroom, okay? I left a picture of the explanation, and you can also see the video again. So remember that ever always goes here. So that's a mistake you're going to find, okay? So try to find those kinds of mistakes. Try to find mistakes where the present perfect is used incorrectly, or when words like the adverbs that we saw like recently, okay, are used in the incorrect space, okay? Stuff like this always. Last week, remember that we cannot give a specific time when we did it. So this would be wrong. You have to correct it in another way, okay? And that's it, you guys. Good luck.